Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Do you remember a few months ago I bought a 2008 VW Golf that had only done 7,500 miles from new? Well, today I've beaten that with this latest purchase. What I've bought is a 2009 Kia Picanto that's only done 1,300 miles from new. 1,300 miles in 14 years. That took me a worrying amount of time to work out, didn't it? Need another coffee, I think. I got a call yesterday from a trader friend of mine who offered me this car for just £2,500. Now that might sound like a lot for a 2009 Picanto, but I just thought with 1,300 miles on the clock, this is probably worth between £4,500 and £5,000. So what I was thinking of was, it owes me £2,500 right now. If I allow myself £500 to get it, you know, ship shape, then it'll owe me £3,000. There should be a healthy profit margin. I'm thinking it's going to need a service, a clean MOT, a good clean, possibly because it's only done 1,300 miles. It might need a set of tyres. They might be perished and cracked. We'll see. Still, I just thought it was quite an interesting find. It isn't every day that I'm offered a car like this that's only done such low miles. One thing that I've got to remember is I need to not get carried away with the spending, because I did that with the red Golf. Then I pitched the price a little bit too high because I thought I had something quite unique, and it's still sitting in my showroom 3, 4, 5 months later. So I got that one wrong. Isn't an easy job, this. With a low mileage car you ask a premium for it, but then people can't get their head around paying so much money for an old car, so you have got to pitch it just right. And like I say, in the case of the red Golf, I did overshoot the runway a little bit. Anyway, let's go and have a look at this Kia then, shall we? Well, we're here. Just looks like every other Picanto I've ever bought. I was hoping to see some sort of pristine 1,300 mile car, but looks a bit average really. It's covered in moss and mould and whatever else. Indicative of a car that's probably, you know what, probably never been cleaned. That could well be its original state after 13, 14 years. What can I tell you then? It's got a slight mark on the rear bumper moulding. I can soon touch that in. It's missing its aerial. Oh, look at those tyres. Why am I beeping? Those tyres, I can see from here, are cracked. The good thing is, tyres on a Picanto are about 30 quid each. They're really cheap. So even if it needs a full set, that's only 120 quid, there or thereabouts. I've just pulled that figure out of the sky, but they are cheap. Could do with a couple of new wheel trims as well. Still, no, there is profit in that. Let's not be all down. Let's see what sort of life this car's had then. So as always, I'm going to go to Car Vertical and do a vehicle history check. May as well turn my engine off, conserve my petrol. Yeah, there is a beep there. My air suspension's inactive. Forget that. So all you do is go to carvertical.com, type in the vehicle reg or the VIN. In this case it is Mike Juliet, Michael Jackson, 59 Tango Charlie X-ray, check vehicle. This will tell us now whether it's ever been stolen, written off, had a mileage rollback, or has outstanding finance on it. But crucially on this kind of car, I just want to see whether the mileage is genuine every single year. Because as I say, 1,300 miles over 14 years, it should have only done 80, 90, 100 miles a year. I want to see as well if there are any advisories on the last MOT, because it should have mentioned all those tyres, all of them being cracked. It's a really thorough check this, by the way. It checks databases in dozens of countries and it checks hundreds of millions of cars. If you want to do these checks for yourself, by the way, and I urge you to do so before you hand over any cash for a used car or motorbike, then make sure you use my promo code HIGHPEAK. That is HIGHPEAK, like that, and you get 10% off each and every vehicle check that you do. Alternatively, click the link below in the video description. So, what can we find out then? So it is a 2009 Kia Picanto, which has never been stolen. The mileage is fine, no outstanding finance, and there's no recorded damage. Perfect. The last known mileage was 1,301 miles. Look at this. So last January, so 10 months ago, it had done 1,301 miles. The January before that, it had done 1,286. It's unbelievable, isn't it? The October before that, it had done 1,254, 1,236, 1,219. What an unbelievable find. So the majority of this miles then were done in the first 3 years. Over its first 3 years, this had done a whopping 769 miles. I think this might be the lowest mileage car for its age I've ever bought. It is a petrol manual. It's a shame it's not an automatic. This would be worth a fortune. Right. Let's check the MOT history then. So on its last MOT, That can't be right. At its last MOT in January, there were no advisory items. Whoever's done that MOT needs their eyes testing. Because the year before that, it advised that all 4 tyres were cracking. So how have they passed it this year? This is the trouble with the MOT test system in this country. Like in Spain and lots of other countries, you have to go to a government certified place, and there are only sort of 1 per town. Whereas here, pretty much anyone can be one. That's how you get some dodgy MOTs. I'm not suggesting that is, but somebody should have failed it on those tyres, really. Right then, let's go and look at this low mileage Picanto. So the first bit of good news is that we've got 2 keys. It is quite a base spec though, because there's no remote fob. I mean, it's tidy, it just needs a very good clean. There's a little scuff there which I can polish out and then carefully touch in. But yeah, look at the state of these tyres. I don't think I've ever seen tyres cracked as bad as that. They're really bad, really poor. Who has passed an MOT with those tyres? Shocking, really. Wants a new wheel trim as well. They're terrible. I suspect this car has just been parked probably under a carport or something. It's not been in a garage, I don't think, because it's too dirty for that. All this will come off with the right cleaning products. Going onto this back tyre then, which is its original Nexon. Again, look at all the cracks. Terrible. But, I mean, it is completely original. I'll give it that. More dirt and grime everywhere. Little scuff there, that's the one I was talking about. But, again, I could carefully touch that in. Or just have that one little bumper panel painted. Be an easy one to do that. Wants a set of plates. My parcel shelf's there, that's good. Another cracked tyre. Just wants a very, very good valet. They're all shocking, these. Really bad. Really poor. That one's flat as well. Really soft tyre. But, I mean, look how narrow they are. Not expensive to replace. Again, loads of moss around the front and mould and whatever. This should be quite an easy one to turn around though. Buy a new aerial. That's 15-20 quid. It's no problem. Let's have a look around it then. Has it got any service history? I would have thought it's probably had 1 or 2, I guess. We've got some coins there. Starbucks cup. A receipt for some petrol. A nice scraper there and a little squeegee thing. Got an empty glove compartment, but look at this. Right, well, you get one of these mirror hanger things once you've had a service. Service due at 11,000 miles. I can just about read that. So I would say, there you go, look. This must have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Kia services then, I would say. That's all the evidence we've got though, but I bet if I contacted that Kia dealer, they must have some record of it. That's not what you want to see, is it, when you buy a used car? No brakes. Great. Wonder why that's... Doesn't really make any sense, does it? Because it's been driven here. Nobody told me that there were no brakes with it, so I wonder if, you know, I'm just trying to be a detective here, but I wonder if this could well have been into a local garage or Kia dealer for the brake repair, and then at that point the owners said, you know what, I don't even drive the car anymore, let's get rid of it. That is what I suspect has happened. Let's have a look under the bonnet then, see how original that is. Got some wrappers here for some boiled sweets. All the clues here indicating this has been owned by somebody getting on in years. Let's check the actual mileage, shall we? Look at that, 1,341. Radio 4. Did anyone guess that correctly? Of course, the signal's bad because I've got no aerial. Oh, we've got electric windows up front. What's this thing? Oh, like one of those dehumidifier things. A damp trap. No good with the wrapper on, is it? Quite a low spec this, so I suspect it's a 1. We've got no central locking. You often find those in people's wardrobes in Spain or something. You often hear this phrase in the used car business, but I genuinely don't think these rear seats have been sat in. This is like new old stock, isn't it? Mats over mats, look at that. Well, straight away then we're into a very good clean, set of plates, an aerial, 4 new tyres. What are we expecting under here then, guys? Oh, that's very stiff. Look at that. As if by magic it doesn't even need the bonnet stay. Yeah, that needs greasing up desperately. This all looks terrible actually. This needs a good old clean, desperately. Look at that oil though. It's like honey, isn't it? We've got a RAC replacement battery there. Well, with a good old clean, should be alright this, shouldn't it? Yeah, that's not right. It needs greasing, doesn't it? What else can I show you? We've got the old tax disc there from Oldham. £30 a year to tax. It's gone up actually, it's 35 now. I'm quite pleased with that though. I think there's some guaranteed profit. So back to my we'll do a little tally up. Tyres are going to cost me 120 plus VAT, so call it 150 for the set. 20 quid for an aerial, 170. Now that's a shame. Got a cracked back light there. I have to order a new rear light then, that's probably 50 quid. So we're up to what, maybe 220, set of plates, 235, a little bit of paint, 240, 250. Service, MOT. I think my £500 budget is still looking promising. Needs a set of wiper blades. See, that shouldn't have passed MOT with split wiper blades. They're hanging off. Set of wiper blades, we'll add 30 quid to that. In fact, let's check the fronts. They actually look okay, they're not all split. Look at this then. We've got an aerial here, or a Harry Potter wand. Oh yes. Now we can get all the tunes, all the tunage. That's my first result. My second result is that we've got the book pack, one that I couldn't see in the glove compartment. Now I don't want to reveal anyone's name or address or anything, so I need to be careful with this. We've got a service book here. This backs up what I thought then. So, the first was done in 2010 at 300 miles. Then 2011, 2012, all Premier Kia. 2013, 14, 15, 16. Wait, there's more. 17, 18. Who services the car every 20 miles? It's ridiculous. I'm blown away by this. I really thought I'd have to give it a full service. So it was last done 2019, and again 21. So it was last done at 1,271 miles, but 2 years ago. So I'll give it a fresh service anyway. That's unbelievable. I really didn't expect that. I think for safekeeping, I'll put this in the glove compartment where it should have been all along. Yeah, look at the state of all the grime there. But it will clean up nicely. How original is this? Unbelievable. But yeah, it does need a very thorough going over, doesn't it? Well, I've saved 20 quid there with my aerial. Quite pleased with that. Now, I don't want to sound like a fairy, but I don't really want to drive this with these cracked tyres. A bit dangerous, isn't it? That's why it wasn't there. All makes sense now, doesn't it? I think I'll keep the service book there for safekeeping, but the book pack can go down there. Perfect. Now, what was it talking about? No brakes. I suspect they've been done. I've certainly got some some resistance under my pedal there.
Call is 03700
Listen to that.
444 for any answers.
Nice and smooth there. Perfect. This new aerial. These brakes feel fine, to be honest. I think what we'll do then is just take it for a quick spin around this car park, because I don't want to go too far with those tyres. This, once I've done with it, will be like a brand new car, this. I'm quite giddy about this. Everything, even like the grain on the steering wheel and the gear knob, it is all like new. I love buying stuff like this. Right, well, we're in second gear already, and we're all doing, everything's going to plan. My brakes feel fine, they're not even grinding. I suspect something had burst then, perhaps. That's one of the brake pipes or something, maybe. That was the reason there were no brakes. Or, I mean, with such few miles on the clock, something could have just been seized, a caliper or something. Who knows? Right, well, this should be quite a straightforward turnaround. I hate saying that because I always jinx it, but it should be quite a straightforward turnaround, this. What I'm going to do is run it to my mechanics first, order the tyres, leave it for a service, MOT. Then once it's done there, I shall take it for a valet. Inside the car doesn't need much at all. It's just the exterior. Right, well, I shall catch up with you. Give me a week. That's all I should need for this one. That's all I should need. In the meantime, I might order a couple of wheel trims for it. Genuine Kia ones, so they all match. And we're back in the little low mileage Picanto, and I think you'll agree, it now looks like a new car. And I've got good news. I seem to remember giving myself a budget of £500 to sort this car out. Paid £2.5 grand for the car, so I thought at £500, it'll owe me £3,000. There should be some profit there. Guess what? I came in under budget. Under budget. What are the chances? I don't think I've ever had that happen to me before. Anyway, after we last spoke, I took it down to my mechanic for a fresh service, a fresh MOT, 4 new tyres and some wiper blades. Before they started doing any work to it, I had a bit of a result. More service history developed for this car. So I think at the start of this video, which was a week or so ago, I think the last recorded service was in 2019. So I thought I'll ask my mechanic to give it a fresh service, and then at least I know it's been done. Even though it probably hasn't done the miles, it's still 3 or 4 years old. Anyway, I got a print off from the local Kia main dealer, and it had a service this year, like 18 miles ago. So I thought, right, I'm not wasting money on a fresh service when it's been done by a main dealer. So sometimes in this job, and it is sometimes, quite rare actually, but you do get a little bit of luck. A couple of days later, I picked it up from there with a clean bill of health. My mechanic actually said what a little minter it was. So it's got a fresh MOT with not a single advisory item, 4 new tyres and new wiper blades. Job done. From there then, I picked it up and took it over to the lads at Tameside Valeting, because if you remember, it was quite green and mossy, looked a bit abandoned. So I thought with a little bit of hot soapy water, all that moss and dirt would just wash off. That wasn't the case, unfortunately. It did a bit more work than that. What they had to do to get rid of all the green was clay bar the whole car, so it did add to the bill, but I think you'll agree, it was money well spent. Then I got it back to work and fitted some new reg plates, and I also remembered that I hadn't ordered that new rear light. If you remember, there was a bit of a spider's web crack in the top part of the passenger side light. So I went onto eBay and found a brand new one, I assume it's a copied part, for £55. So I've ordered that. That hasn't arrived yet, but that will be a 2-minute job, that. Just a couple of screws out and screw it back in. In the meantime, I thought rather than waste any time, I may as well finish this video and advertise the car. So I took some nice photographs of it, and I've got it advertised for £4,795, which sounds like a lot of money for a 2009 Picanto, but for a car that's only done 1,360 miles, it's not really a lot of money, is it? You're essentially buying new old stock, so I can't imagine this will sit around too long. What I think I'll do now then is park up somewhere scenic, and I'll talk you through my costs. And although it hasn't sold, I expect it will fairly quickly, so I can pretty much work out my profit margin. See you there. Right, well, here we'll do nicely then. Lovely jubbly. So, if you remember, I paid £2,500 for the car. Let me dig my bills out here. The bill at my mechanics was £253.60, so that was 3 wiper blades, £26, 4 tyres, £152, MOT test fee, £40, so 253. So we may as well add this up as we go along. I'm at 2753.60. Then we've got £55 for the rear light that I'd just forgotten about. £15 was on number plates. The bill at the valeters was £110, so we'll add that on. We're at 2933 so far. It's close. It's close. I'd forgotten about this bill. I'd forgotten all about this. I ordered 1 genuine wheel trim. All of them were, well, 3 of them were fine. 1 was a little bit scuffed, so I had that ordered. So that was £50 and 74 pence. That's it. Ran out of bills. So my grand total is, this is cutting it fine, but still technically under budget, £2,984.34, which means I spent £484 on this car. Not bad then, was it really? Give myself a £500 budget. So that's that. If I can get 4.5 or 4,795 for it, then I will have made somewhere between £1,500 and £1,800, which I think is pretty good going, isn't it? I'm quite pleased with that. I love buying things like this. You just can't go wrong really, can you? Although saying that, you have seen me go wrong several times, but generally speaking, you can't go wrong. So I think that's about it. Thank you once again for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. I'll leave the link below. And yeah, cheers guys. See you next time.